Hey everybody, this is PyjamaPrime, talking at you about Transformers Botcon, Timeline's Shattered Glass comic book that goes with the Botcon 5-pack that you would get at a convention, but I got this through my comic book shop that I go to. I would say my local comic book shop, but it's not even actually local. It's actually by my school. It's a shop called Pendragon Comics. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you have not. It's not exactly mainstream or anything like the Silver Snail, but it's a great comic shop. Excuse me. Alright, so I'm going to tell you basically the history of the summarized history in 2 pages of this book, of the Shattered Glass universe. So, this is told by Botcon Sideswipe, who was you can see here. He was originally an Autobot, but he switched over to the side of the Decepticons because he didn't like the way that Optimus Prime was working. He didn't like his plans. So here's what Botcon Sideswipe says. He's talking to like sort of classics cliff jumper, who has. Okay, I'll explain it in a bit. This might go over to 2 parts. So I'll explain more. I'll go into great detail as much as I can. So This is Shattered Glass. Shattered Glass Sideswipe talking to classics cliff jumper. You want answers, so I'll try to sum up everything you need to know now. It appears you are from a universe that is fundamentally divergent in both time and space than our own. Our Cybertron was once a world at peace, a jewel in the crown that is the universe. Our progenitors lived in pursuit of knowledge and harmony. A librarian, named Optronics was one of the most obsessive researchers in the great Cybertronian archives. Not satisfied with his station in the hierarchy, through time he schemed and backstabbed others to reach one of the highest echelons of Cybertronian society. He began to preach intolerance for Cybertron's then current state of affairs. His new code was one of advancement through conflict. Many who had grown bored with Cybertron's peaceful culture adopted this philosophy. Philosophy soon turned into action, and his followers declared themselves autonomous from the rest of Cybertron's population, calling themselves Autobots. They enhanced their bodies and created weapons to prepare for their campaign of terror. Optronics reserved the most powerful weaponry and enhancements for himself. He was the first to undergo the modifications he designed, and thus changed his name to Optimus Prime. There's a little speech bubble. It says, "Strike, my Autobots. Strike with all the power at your disposal. Let those who see our wisdom join us, and those who choose to stagnate be cut out like the rotting cancer they are." And continuing on with the story. One day, without warning, Optimus's armies attacked. Each attack was preceded with an offer to join him. Those who refused were quickly destroyed. And as his thirst for more power and control grew, so did his thirst for knowledge. One day his cold calculations stopped and he became vicious and erratic. Rumor has it that he had discovered something so terrible that it destroyed his very sanity. To this day, no one, not even his closest lieutenants, knows what that was. Now, despite all of the ruthlessness, there were those who opposed Optimus Prime, and in time they formed a loose resistance, using weapon designs stolen from Optimus. A war against the Autobots was fought. Though without leadership, the resistance had no hope of winning. Then, from the fires of the great city Polyhex came a champion who united the scattered resistance fighters into a cohesive army, Megatron. Through his own research, Megatron discovered a way to alter Cybertronian bodies so they could convert into other forms, now able to disguise themselves as vehicles and everyday objects. The Resistance fighters took on the name Decepticons. They used their newfound capabilities to deadly effect in combat. Megatron had firepower matched only by Optimus Prime's. Through his leadership, the Decepticons managed to retake several key strongholds. Optimus Prime is a genius, however, and it did not take long for him to replicate the transformation technology and bestow it upon his forces. Without that advantage, the Decepticon cause has begun to falter. Optimus has a huge head start and eliminated a lot of Cybertronians before the Decepticons were even formed. We've managed to achieve a few victories since that time, but not enough to overthrow Optimus without a major victory happening soon. So that's basically the general story. Many other things is that they are not religious at all. Like, religious in the fact that they don't believe in Primus, but they also don't even know who that is. They have no concept of who Primus is, or Unicron, or anybody. Also, they have different terminology for various things, like this. Normally, since Beast Wars, the soul of a Transformer has been called the Spark. Since Beast Wars, it was never really called that in G1, but now general terminology for the soul of a Transformer, the big ball, glowy ball that comes inside every Transformer, we call it a spark. When, for some strange reason, they call these guys, in this universe, they are called embers. Sparks apparently are charged by positrons in our G1 universe. In the G1 universe. But in the Botcon universe, embers are charged with electrons, which are the kind of the opposite of positrons in a molecule. There are electrons and positrons, I believe. I haven't taken science in forever. So, general story of the comic. Now that we've got the history out of the way for the Shattered Glass universe, we go on to the general story. We start off, the very first page has classic Cliffjumper falling out of some sort of time warp hole and lands in the Shattered Glass universe. Now, he lands on Cybertron in the Shattered Glass universe, and this, I think it looks like Wild Rider. Oh, he's being chased by Rodimus, and he looks at him. He looks at Cliffjumper and says, "Oh no, it can't be you. You're supposed to be dead." And Rodimus finds him and thinks that Cliffjumper is indeed Shattered Glass Cliffjumper with a new paint job. And they discuss. They talk, and Cliffjumper's obviously confused because he doesn't know that he's in a different universe, and Rodimus is confused because he's supposed to be dead, because Cliffjumper apparently died. The Shattered Glass Cliffjumper apparently died at the Dark Mount Massacre, or on the way to the Dark Mount Massacre. So he didn't even get to the fight. Now we see Rodimus with his evil facial hair that is on the toy, apparently. So they take him. Rodimus takes Cliffjumper to Iacon to see Optimus Prime. And here they are. Optimus Prime sees Cliffjumper and he's like, "Oh my gosh, it's Cliffjumper, you're alive!" Because he still thinks he's Shatterglass Cliffjumper. And he takes them to the smelting pool, where they are currently holding a trial for Shatterglass Rumble, I believe. Yes, Rumble. And you can see in this picture, you can see Goldbug, Grimlock, Ricochet, Jazz, Blur, and of course Optimus Prime is over here with Cliffjumper. And then Rodimus is probably, I believe, is behind. Yes, he is.